No one asks about the man in the moon anymore. 15 years from now, NASA and Russian space agencies plan a manned flight to Mars. Space lecturer Ralf Heckel has made it his task to share this mission with talented and interested young people. Now, teenagers from Middle Germany have made a big step on their way. They're the first group of German students to visit Star City in Moscow. They're a group with a clear vision to conquer space. These students from Saxony and Thuringia want to get to the top.
Das Mondprogramm 2018 steht.
The Moon Program 2018 is prepared. The Mars Program 2016 as well. Even if we calculate plus minus 2 years, no matter in which direction, this generation will move the levers which will be important in 2016 and 2018.
They have the chance to move the first lever in Moscow. In the legendary Star City, they get introduced to the basics of space. They have never seen a real Soyuz capsule before. Impressive.
Just imagine you are sitting in this space capsule like an embryo. You can't reach the buttons. It must be even harder when you are held back with a safety belt. Sometimes the cosmonauts had special telescope sticks to reach the buttons. But in fact, there's pretty few space in there.
Looking at it, you can really see that it's actually been in space. It looks a little damaged. You can see where the atmosphere has left parts of its energy.
The next stage of the cosmonaut crash course is the vestibular chair, a challenge for the human sense of balance. It's not for a weak stomach. The first German in space, Sigmund Jähn, became disorientated on Dr. Alexiev's chair in 1977. Now, on the very same chair, it's Marco's turn.
Now it starts that your body gets the feeling to be moving on an ellipse.
Ungefähr 2 Minuten.
After 2 minutes it happens that this ellipse gets so big that you start feeling unwell. And thinking about the fact that cosmonauts have to get through this for a much longer time, it is obviously an extraordinary achievement.
Flashback. 7 months ago, the ambitious project Spacepass is born. The young cosmonauts are sought and tested. The basics are flying in a small engined plane, diving classes, and the breathtaking tandem skydive. It's all in the name of one goal, to get a little closer to a dream job involving spaceflight. A few days later, the Moscow Aviation Institute invites the students to Moscow. German NASA scientist Jesko von Puttkammer gives them a hint.
Dass sie den, sagen wir, den einmal gefassten Willen,
that they don't let themselves be talked out of their decision to go ahead with this and do not choose the easy way. As Kennedy said back then when he explained why we should go to the moon, we do this not because it is easy, but on the contrary because it is difficult.
The way to Moscow is not hard at all for these grammar school graduates. Here one highlight follows the next. A short stop, for instance, inside the Russian part of the International Space Station. Things that they can usually only see on TV can actually be touched here. Using the restroom becomes more exciting than it has ever been before.
To visit the restroom was, well, it's different from how it is on Earth, but no big deal. In fact, it really doesn't look that different.
Well, it seems possible spending some months up there, but yes, personally I cannot imagine that yet.
Step by step, they become closer to the appearance of a real cosmonaut. The most important piece of clothing is called an EVA suit. Christian experiences a whole new sensation.
I was lifted up on a rope, and after that I had to pull myself along another rope. It was very difficult, much more difficult than I would have expected. I was barely able to move. The artificial joints were limiting my movements. Everything was really difficult.
At the end of the week comes the highlight. A live link-up into space to the ISS crew. With sweaty palms, Christian makes the first step.
Beyond moon, for us.
At the other end, the American William MacArthur and his Russian colleague Valery Tokarev are waiting for the questions.
The question I asked, or that I was allowed to ask, rather, was Moon and Mars, what's coming after that for our generation? Just what do we have to expect from this whole project?
Then there was this one impressive sentence. Ihr seid der Grund, dass wir hier oben sind. You are the reason that we are up here.
This is more than simply satisfying for the students. The purpose of their experience is completely clear.
It's been my dream ever since, and now it all means just a lot more.
This cosmonaut-astronaut training program takes up more time and energy from my life than I never expected it would.
The cosmonauts and astronauts have also realized that the students are serious. MacArthur has invited them to Houston in 2006. The students still have their feet on the ground, but now they can start dreaming about being weightless.